everyone, my name is Dina-Rosa and I play the clarinet. So, we know the pitches of the notes, now let's learn the lengths of the notes. So let's start off with a whole note. So this is a note head, nothing is in it, it's round and it's pretty big. So this equals to 4 beats or 4 quarter notes. So let's grab my trusty metronome and put it on 60 beats per minute. So 4 of these clicks is 1 whole note. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 1. And if you count another 4, that's 2. So those are called whole notes. And I like to think of it as, if you guys have ever had a pizza or a cake or a pie, simple math, right? Like just cut it up like that, and you're gonna have 4 slices. And that's a whole. So you have the whole pizza, you've got 2 parts. Now, that is called a half note, because there's half of a pizza. Okay, so put my metronome back on. So the half note, it has the note head, but it also has a stem. So let's put this back on. So half note is 1, 2. So that's 1, and then another one would be 1, 2. I think you probably get the point. So that's a half note. Next is a quarter note. So if you're on your pizza, you probably can guess what is next. So a quarter note has a filled in note head plus a stem. So it looks like a half note, but it just has a filled in stem, so it's black in the middle. So a quarter note is only 1 beat. So let's do it. So each of these clicks is a quarter note. Pretty simple, right? The 8th note, it has a shaded in note head, a stem, and a little flag attached to the end. 8th notes can be written separately as a flag with a flag at the end, or they can be written together with a beam connecting them. The 8th note equals half of a beat, or half of a quarter note. So if these are quarter notes, these are 8th notes. So quarter note, quarter note, quarter note, quarter note, 8th note, 8th note, 8th note, 8th note. So it's just half the length of a quarter note. All right, and just for this video, we're gonna end with a 16th note. A 16th note, take a guess, it's half of an 8th note. Great, so if this is a quarter note, and if an 8th note is, there's 2 8th notes in 1 quarter note because it's half the length, then if you cut it in half again, there's 4 16th notes in a quarter note, or 2 16th notes in an 8th note. So let's get on to the 16th notes. So here are the quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the 8th notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So, and yeah, just again, the 16th note, it's a filled in note head. It has a stem. And instead of 1 tail, it has 2 little tails, or you could connect it with 2 beams. And then a 32nd note, you connect it with 3 beams, or 3 little tails, and 64th notes, you do it with 4. Okie dokie, let's recap. So a whole note gets 4 beats. A half note gets 2 beats. A quarter note is 1 beat. An 8th note is half of 1 beat, and the 16th note is a quarter of 1 beat. Not only do you apply notes into music, but also rests, and the counting applies for both. So a whole rest gets as many counts as a whole beat, or a whole note, because there's 4 beats. And it looks like this. It's just kind of like a big blob under the line. And then for a half rest, which is 2 beats, it looks like a top hat. And that's how I learned it in middle school, I guess. For a quarter rest, it's like a little squiggle. It just reminds me of the Harry Potter scar. Okay, so, and then an 8th rest looks like this. Kind of looks like a little sideways V with a squiggle on it. And then a 16th note rest looks like this. The last thing we're going to be talking about is a time signature. So, just now I was talking about 4/4. So you see this at the beginning of your music. You will see one number written over another number. you can have a few different of those. There's a lot of different variations. There's 4/4, there's 3/4, 2/4, 11/8, 5/15, maybe. I don't know. I've played in some pretty wonky time signatures. So the top number indicates how many beats are in a measure, and then the bottom number indicates how long each of those beats are. So if we're in 4/4, there are 4 quarter notes, because a quarter note is equal to 1 beat. There's 4 quarter notes in every measure. If we have 3/4, there are 3 quarter notes in each measure, like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I hope everyone enjoyed my video, and you guys now know a little bit more about note lengths and rest lengths, which are kind of the same thing, and also time signatures, because that's like a super important part of your playing. If you're sight reading something in band or orchestra, the rhythms are basically the first things you want to get right, because you can play them all together with the orchestra and it's not too funky. You can figure the notes out later. So yeah, I hope you guys learned a bit, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks, cheers, bye.